Last time out, it was Grant Rodal besting Tiago Canola at Donington Park. Today, we have a very different challenge. 2 strips of straight road with 2 hairpins. The name of the game will be Speed. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jason White, and welcome to the second round of the 1980 HSO Procar Series at Avus. Cars are on the track right now, completing their qualifying session. And I am joined in the booth by Jonatan Acerclinth. How are you doing, Jonatan?
I'm pretty good. Looking forward to watching the high-speed slipstreaming that will happen around here.
Well, it will certainly be a different challenge than it was in Donington Park. Their handling was very important, especially when you were upshifting uphill and downhill sections, trying to steer at the same time. Here, it's basically going to be an all-out speed contest from one end to the other.
Well, speed and the ability to still change gear, I think. If you slightly miss a gear in these cars, then you will lose a lot of time around here.
Yeah, all you have to do is miss a shift, and basically you're going to be going backwards in this situation. Let's bring everybody up to date on the goings-on in this series so far. Let's take a look first at the driver points. Grant Rodal is leading the championship after his victory with 20 points. Tiago Canola is second with 15. Austin Johnson is third with 12. David Jakes is fourth with 10. And David Yunt is fifth with 8 points. The track itself, Avus Rennen, and this is the 5-mile version. Jonathan, I'm getting an echo on your end of my voice. Are you hearing that?
No, I think it's my
Yeah, it's something that's probably on your end. In any case, Avus Rennen itself, this is the 5-mile version. This is the longer version. There's other versions we've run in the past that only use half of this layout. But this is going to be the super long one with a hairpin at both ends. The larger one, of course, used to be the banked one that the Silver Arrows ran on in the 30s. But it's a flat one in this case. We're going to be going for 21 laps or 105 miles in this contest. So as we mentioned, the cars
will be a difficult one.
Sorry, go ahead, Jonathan.
And it's going to be a difficult one indeed with high speeds. I know several drivers have been complaining about their engines feeling a little bit stressed around here, and of course any slight error in under braking when you're going at 100, I believe the top speed they're hitting is just under 180 miles an hour. Any mistake on the braking in that situation will cause a massive crash.
Well, we have a chance now to go for a full lap with David Yunt as he's coming out of the final turn, leaving the concrete back on. Oh, well, of course, he's going to go to the pits. Let me see if I can find somebody else who's about to finish a lap.
David Sabre is just.
Lucas.
No, sorry, he's out of the first.
No, Lucas. It's okay. I found Lucas Vidra, one of our newer HSO drivers. He's coming out of the final turn now, which is made of concrete, and then he's going to cross over to the asphalt. You can see all the flash bulbs going off in the crowd. Crossing the line now to start a lap. There's Reese Gardner coming out of the pits. Now, I've noticed, and maybe you can confirm this or not, Jonathan, but when these cars are moving at speeds over 150 miles an hour, they start to get really floaty in terms of their handling.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are definitely a bit floaty, moves around a little bit. So your aim, technically, when you're going down these straights, is to stay in your pile of the motorway, so to speak.
And Lucas right now is running by himself. You can imagine that it's going to be a very different kettle of fish when we have other cars surrounding him with the buffeting air and the slipstream occurring. So now, if you look way down the track, you can start to see little specks of orange, and those are the cones. Lucas fades to the right. And here he comes now to the first hairpin. Slides a bit, coming around. Now he's back going the other way. Second half of the course. Up through the gears. Lucas doing a good job of not over-revving the engine or missing any shifts. up into fifth gear.
157 miles an hour changing to the top gear.
Yeah. And obviously, the places where there's going to be the most danger are going to be when you're braking for the hairpins, because if you make a mistake and judge it wrong, you could end up in a barrier or off in the woods at the other end. But I think it's equally as dangerous having these cars run close together because of that floaty feel at high speed. If you make one small move, you could find yourself counter-correcting back and forth all of a sudden. Okay, here comes Lucas into the right-hander, and this one's a little bit more broad, and he times that excellent. Now, this is the loop that heads back the other way by the pits. Downshifts into second, and of course the cars are running minimal wing here, so the challenge is to avoid oversteer as much as you can. Be really gentle on the throttle. And that is
try to get us close to... Oh, go ahead.
And that was one lap of Avus. What were you saying about getting close to something?
The thing is, really, if you want a really good lap time, OSE blows his engine, I think. You want to get as close as possible to the pit wall to straighten the exit on the last turn, but slight misjudgment there and it'll be end of your race.
Certainly. One more
and
time.
And also in terms of the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sorry.
And in terms of danger, I would say actually the right-hander end of the second straight is by far the most dangerous place on the track. Because if someone has a crash there and you are running 2-3 cars behind, you will have no chance whatsoever to react. Because you can't see around the wall, and it'll take a while for the yellow flag to come out as well, I think, if you start spinning because you're carrying so much speed. So
yeah, that's a good observation. Well, while we have a moment, let's take a look one more time at the specs of these cars. We talked about it in the previous race, but we'll go over it one more time since we have the time. We've got another 5 minutes here of qualifying, and then we'll have a short warm-up, so we're not really pressed for time at this moment. These are 1980 BMW Procars. The principal difference between this and the road-going version, I suppose, would be the wing in the back, the wider track, which necessitates wheel flares, and probably the front air dam, I would say, is different on these cars than the production version. Engine is a 3.5-liter dual overhead cam inline 6. The power is 470 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. The torque is 282 foot-pounds at 7,000 revs. The body is fiberglass. The frame is box-section steel. So it's not a monocoque. It's more of a traditional automobile construction. Top speed of this car, 192 miles per hour. I'm guessing that's with taller gears, but you know, who knows? We may see speeds approaching that in slipstream, potentially, in this race. 0 to 60 in this car is a very respectable 4.4 seconds. So that's a look at the specs of the BMW Procar. Anything you'd like to add to that, Jonathan?
I would say that's more than a respectable 4.4. That's enough to give you quite a thump in the back.
Yes.
There's also, in terms of driving these cars, they are a little bit strange in a way, because you would expect with 480 horsepower it would be quite easy to get wheel spin, but you need to have very high revs to actually get to that wheel spin. So around these hairpins, unless you're using first gear, you can struggle with making it a more straight exit out of the hairpins and without losing speed down the straight.
Riding on board right now with Cezarius Ślepinski, and he's following David Saber in his slipstream, pulling about 8,000 revs right now. And he's going by now on the right-hand side. This is another thing that we're watching now. Adam Hackman, who's following Saber, and he's got the slipstream too. So you're going to get these double draft effects going on. 3 wide now, as both cars sweep by Cezarius Ślepinski. If this is any indication of what we're in for, it's going to be a real treat. And now Cezarius is coming back on the outside. Be careful, there's like triple Armco right there. You can see the cones. They're going to have to break in a second. Coming in. Oh, David. Oh, no. David goes
exactly
off. David's going for all three of them have issues. David's going for a ride in the woods. Cesarius is able to keep going. But that's exactly the problem that you're going to have coming down here. I think what happened there was that you get so wrapped up in the battle that you're in that it's easy to lose your bearings of where you are and where you have to shut off. So in any case, Cesarius is now following Hackman. Now here's something that's interesting. We're doing qualifying right now. The cars are permitted to smoke like this during qualifying. You see Hackman's car is telling us there's a new pope. But in the race, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, but I believe AMS will throw up a black flag if you're doing that.
Yes, it's ought to do that. Not then be in the commentary booth. /admin booth will be taking care of that stuff.
Yeah, we're just the TV people. Cesarius, nice job braking and being right on the limit going into that right-hander. Excellent. And here the challenge, of course, is to just keep the back end from sweeping around on you.
You could see a bit of a quirk of the car as well with he had understeer up until he got to the upper echelons around the 7.7 thousand RPM before the wheels actually started to spin a little bit on him.
Yeah.
Give him a bit more oversteer instead.
Alright, well, while we have a moment, there's some other things we could talk about while we're waiting for things to get underway here. Let's talk about what's coming up soon here at HSO. Coming up next Sunday, and I know a lot of people are going to be hitting the refresh button on their browsers following this race. We have the first of the HSO Gold Star races, and this is going to use the old favorite, the 1971 Trans Am mod. And it's going to be the Mission Bell 200 at Riverside. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people are going to want to go for the Javelins. There's only 3, so some people are going to be disappointed. But definitely any chance you get to race at Riverside is a lot of fun. So looking forward to that one coming up. And then, I believe next week, Jonathan, second round for the 1996 BTCC series at, which circuit is this at? Is that at Brands?
It is, I believe. Well, I actually am a little bit unsure, so I'll have a quick look.
Well, in any case, it's called the Ford Credit Trophy Meeting. This is round 2 of 13, and that'll be Wednesday, February 6th. So the previous race that we talked about, the Mission Bell 200, is that Sunday, the 3rd. And then Wednesday is going to be the next BTCC race. And then, following that, on Sunday, February 10th, we're back Procar racing again, this time on the streets of Monaco. So, another very strange challenge. I mean, it's interesting how varied the challenge is for these cars. We started at a thoroughbred racing circuit in the middle of England, and today we're in Germany, basically zipping back and forth on the highway. And next we're going to the Principality of Monte Carlo to race in the streets there. So, extremely varied schedule for these pro cars. But that's a look at what's coming up at HSO.
And to confirm, next round of the beat is indeed at Brands Hatch in the layout of that circuit. So, a bit of a Mickey Mouse one, but hopefully it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh goodness, Gerard Rion just traded paint with the guardrail in the final turn here. But of course, we have just now gotten the checkered flag for the qualifying session. So I believe we're going to be going to the warm-up at this point, unless I'm mistaken.
Very soon. I think there are a few more drivers to finish their laps, but...
Well, in that case, we can take a look at the actual results. Grant Riddall is on the pole with a time of 2:09.106, and 0.02 of a second behind him is David Jakes. That's all the difference it is between first and second. Pascal Mikola in the BMW Austria entry is lining up third with a time of 2:09.639. And a whole bunch of what makes those times low is the slipstream. If you're running by yourself, the times are much, much slower. So it's going to...
It's also interesting to see that there's groups of drivers as well, because then it's half a second, 2 tenths, but then another few tenths back it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers within 0.3 of a second, pretty much. So
yep.
Very close among the different drivers as well.
So we're heading into the warm-up session now. I believe this is a 10-minute session, and then we'll be going to the race itself. Jonatan,
a 5-minute session.
Oh, it's a 5-minute session. Well, that's good. I mean, I didn't, because normally we're used to having 10. We'll see what the clock says when it starts here. Predictions for this race, Jonatan.
Oh, I hazard to have a guess at all here. It's and pretty much anyone is thought to be able to win this as long as they can stay in the draft and be the last one to slip out of the draft on the final lap, so to speak.
Yeah, well, the clock has been set at 5 minutes, so we're going to have drivers. Anybody who's going out there is just basically getting used to the cars on full tanks. Everybody's standing very patiently at the end of the pit lane, waiting for the green to be given. There it is. Yves Placé will lead them out. Zariusz Lipinski, Grant Riddall, your pole sitter. David Jakes is starting in second. And off they go, just to get loose, getting ready for this 21-lap contest. As diabolical as this appears, driving these Procars, I can't imagine what driving this circuit must have been like with the Silver Arrows in the 30s. Just basically a high-speed contest back and forth on what are little more than motorcycle tires. Here's David Jakes and Grant Riddall running together, getting a feel for maybe what it'll be like in the first few laps of the race. Grant now shadowing Yves Placé. He's already got a good tow. Didn't even get up to 5th gear, and he's overtaken him now. Well, I mean, that's assuming that Yves was on the throttle the whole way. Do you think that the people at the back of the field have an advantage here, Jonathan, or are the people at the front going to be under insane pressure? Whoa! Yves just bypasses Grant, and now David Jakes comes by 3 wide again. Are you watching this? This is nuts.
Yeah, it is indeed nuts, but this is what we can expect in the races. And to answer your initial question, I actually believe the ones in the back will have a bit more of an advantage. At least on the opening lap, because they will have more cars in front of them cutting the air away from themselves.
I think we can. I think realistically, we're going to see several people going for a ride into the woods on lap 1, and a lot of. Oh, David Jakes just had a huge fishtail moment coming out of the final turn. But I think it ought to be interesting to see, you know, how many people are able to make it through the first lap without going off track at the end of the first straight. We'll see. Here comes Grant, back by David Jakes again. See if David's able to counterattack before he gets to the end of the straight. Here he comes now, hugging that triple Armco. Meanwhile, you got everybody coming by on the other side. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, here they come down to the hairpin. Let's see what's this track. Actually, I had a hand in getting this track ready when it was an R-Factor version. Ooh. Oh, Slipinski runs into his teammate because he had some oversteer. We were going to run this track with the 1982 World Endurance cars, but we had an issue with the server on the day we were going to use it, and it didn't work out. But it's really nice to see this, the work that was put into this actually getting used for something. So,
indeed.
Albeit several years after the fact. Incidentally, by the way, when we're going down these straights and you see this tire barrier here, that basically means they're about halfway down the straight. So watch for that. There's a tire barrier here that normally would be where the circuit ends if it's the shorter circuit. But of course it's blocked off here. I wonder what would happen if somebody tried to sneak their car through that little gap right there.
I have a feeling they would be called for cutting and possibly disqualified on the spot.
You'd like to think. Alright, so we have 36 seconds to go here. In a moment we'll be heading to the race session. Jonathan, do you know if we're going to have a formation lap?
It is a formation lap with a standing start.
Okay, good. That'll give us time to go through the grid before the actual race begins. I'd like to welcome everybody who's watching this race today on YouTube. I know that in the first outing we had some graphic issues that didn't look especially fantastic on TV. Nothing that we could really do about it, but if what we're seeing right now is any indication, we should be more than making up for it in this race. So we appreciate everyone's patience and looking forward to giving you a really good show today. So the camera is trained on Grant Riddall now, and once they go to the race session, I will take you through the grid.
Here we are.
And that siren means we're going to the race session, so... ...21 laps. And remember that the count that's in the upper corner is the lap that the cars are on, not the number that are completed.
And also remember that it seems like a long time, but when they actually get going, it'll be over before we know it.
Yes. Tense moments now as we get set for the start of the second race in the 1980 Procar Series. Come on, Grant, get out there. There he is. All right.
Will still be 15 seconds no matter if everyone is there or not. There are a few a bit awkwardly positioned for the start there.
Well, in this case, they're set on the grid by the computer itself. So, all right. So here we go. Off on the parade lap. On the pole is Grant Riddall in the Project 4 entry, number 40, sponsored by Valvoline. Second is David Jakes, driving the Manfred Cassini Racing entry. Third, we have Pascal Mikola in the Grosser Pier entry, a BMW Austria car. Fourth is Austin Johnson, driving the first of the B&S fabrication entries. Fifth is Ray Riddall in the first of the GS tuning cars. Sixth is Peter Hlavik, who's getting ahead of himself here. He needs to get back behind Ray Riddall there. Peter is driving the Merzario team entry, number 69. Seventh is Adam Hackman in the Jurgensen and Son Bioscalen entry. Then eighth is John Team in the second B&S Fabrications car. Ninth is Steve Parker, who I am guessing is going to be scrambling to get a car for the Mission Bell 200 after this one, because as we all know, Steve is really, really good in the cars that have lots of weight. Gerard Rion in another this is a GS tuning BASF sponsored car. 11th for Jakob Fredriksson in the Eggenberger Motorsports entry. 12th is David Yunt in the Scuderia Basilia entry. 13th, Dave Miller in the Pooh Jeans car. That still makes me giggle. Actually, there are two Pooh cars. Juha Boss is in the other one. Sauber Racing of Switzerland. 15th is Francois Remen. 16th, Cesarius Lipinski, who gave us some good pictures earlier. 17th is Reese Gardner, a friend of yours, Jonathan, I believe, driving another B&S Fabrications car. 18th, David Saber in a second GS Tuning denim-sponsored car. Mick Chapman starts 19th for Team Schnitzer. 20th is another B&S Fabrications car, Yves Placé. 21st, Lucas Vidra in another Team Merceria car, number 70. 22nd, Jason Whitehead in Marco Rennsport Marlboro sponsored car. 23rd, and still in the pit lane, oddly enough, is Raul Yareb. I don't know what that's all about. 24th is Timo Vermeers in the Zoll Auto BMW entry. I like the graphics on that car. Zoll, Zoll, Zoll. Bruno Chacan is starting in 25th in the second Scuderia Basilia car. John Cook from Canada is starting 26th in another Team Schnitzer entry. 27th is Jan Kowalski in the Schutz Racing entry. 28th is Alberto Ibanez for Team Schnitzer, and I believe that is the field in its entirety. Yes.
Yep.
So here come the cars now, getting ready for the standing start. The concrete there indicates they're in the final turn. And here they come out of that corner. So now they're going to be taking up their 2x2 grid slots. Again, we have Grant Riddall on the pole. David Jakes is in second. Pascal Mikola burning out there to try to get the maximum heat into his rear tires. Austin Johnson lining up fourth. Ray Riddall fifth. Peter Hlavik lining up sixth. Some people moving back and forth trying to get the best position in the slot. Tense moments here, especially considering the high stakes speed that waits all these drivers.
Alberto at the back of the field is just about to line up. There we are, everyone seems to be lined up.
Everybody hold on. And the race is underway! Oh my goodness, there's some people like straggling at the back, but everybody's away now. Pascal Mikola sprinting forward into the lead. David Jakes in second, Grant Riddall is in third. My goodness. Zipping down the straight here.
But here comes Jakes. That's the slipstream for you.
Team is in second place. Oh my goodness, here we go with the three wide. Oh goodness.
There's actually bump drafting going on as well. Drivers are nowhere to go.
Oh
David Miller's up into the lead.
Miller's in the lead.
Whoa, and there's contact between Ray and Mikola in the pack behind.
My goodness.
There comes you up,
Miller, now they're coming into the, oh my goodness, everybody be really careful, please.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh no, off goes Miller.
Oh,
Miller goes off into the, oh my goodness. But it looks like everybody else is going to get
Oh, no.
Oh no, we have an accident.
Oh.
What happened?
No. Johnson and someone had a contact. I couldn't quite see which. I'll try to have a look. That was Austin Johnson and possibly Jon Team.
All right, here's a replay.
Yep, Jon Team and Austin Johnson came together coming out of the hairpin, and no one had anywhere to go. Oh.
All right, so we're going
one.
to look at Johnson's view now and get a view of what happened here.
David Saber is one of the worst lucky ones.
So they came out of the hairpin. Here's what happened. So cars getting tangled up under acceleration. Around goes Jon Team. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what everyone would fear. Oh my goodness, and massive impact. I believe that was one of the denim cars. So Austin Johnson, his race is effectively run.
Several drivers' races are run. Mikola is back in the pack. Vermeer's damaged.
And that's, my goodness. What a, and yes, with Austin Johnson out of the race.
Lipinski with heavy damage. My God. So yeah, in terms of retirements, Reme, Johnson, Saber and Team all retired on the spot.
Oh my God. So that's several people out of the race very early. Let's take a look here as they're coming down to get a... Oh, the safety car is out.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, actually, I am, because I didn't realize that this was something that could happen in the race.
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, this is strange, because I would have expected that it would have been cleared and it wouldn't have been a problem. But indeed, the safety car has been deployed, and Jonatan Acerclinth, I would wager that this could actually be a problem when they go back to green, because you're going to have a situation where everybody's going to be scrambling again, and we could do this all over again.
Indeed, but with any kind of luck, everyone will be a bit better behaved this time, because they were manic going into the hairpin.
All right. Well, as they come down
not much better later on.
As they come down to the hairpin, let's have another look here. Fredrickson leads, Parker second, Hlavik third. So these are the cars that managed to avoid carnage. Looking for any damage here. I don't see any outstanding damage on these cars.
Well, I do notice Shlapinski is in the pits repairing his car. With any luck, his crew will be able to fix that before the safety car queue comes back.
Well, he's going to... The safety car in this case is a huge lifesaver for them, because anybody who's having repairs, because this is a long circuit, as we've mentioned, and he may just be able to get out ahead of the pace car. It depends on how bad the damage was. They were at low speed coming out of that corner, so who knows?
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, goodness, that's fantastic. So he's going to be able to line up at the back of the field.
That was about 600 seconds of damage repair.
All right. Well, while we have a moment here, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to be going back to racing right away here, there are those tire barriers I pointed out, so we're halfway down the straight coming back to the start-finish area. So we have Jakob Fredrickson in first. Steve Parker is in second. Third is Peter Hlavik. Fourth, Gerard Rion. Fifth, Grant Riddall. So Grant was able to survive that carnage. Sixth is David Jakes. He also survived. Seventh, Yves Placé. Eighth, David Yunt. Ninth, Ray Riddall. And 10th, Juha Boss. So that's the top 10 right now. 11th is Adam Hackman. 12th, Dave Miller. So after leading the race for just a few seconds, Dave dropped all the way back down to 12th. But, I mean, he started from a little ways back and it was managed to getting to the front anyway. So who knows? It may happen again. I don't think he incurred any damage going off in the woods. There's no collision on those trees. So I think it's just a big runoff area there, so he ought to be okay. 13th, Lucas Vidra. 14th, Reese Gardner. 15th is Alberto Banez. So he's one of the people who benefited the most from this situation. He basically climbed halfway through the field. 16th, Jason Whited. 17th, Jan Kowalski. 18th, John Cook. 19th, Bruno Chacon. 20th, Timo Vermeersch. 21st, Pascal Mikola, one of the big losers from the shunt that just occurred. 22nd, Raul Ureb. 23rd, Mick Chapman. And here is Cezarius Lipinski at full speed, trying to get back to the back of the pack. Those who are out of the race: Francois Remet, Austin Johnson, David Saber. That was the GS tuning car that we saw that was out of order at the back of the circuit. That's just too bad. 28th, John Team. And so we basically lost 4 cars only from that. So Cezarius Lipinski is still trying to get his bearings here.
I just gave him a slight warning as well, in terms of where he should be starting to slow down, since he was going full shot.
Oh, Mick Chapman is in the pits right now, and he's having a this pit stop's been going on, goodness, for about 766 seconds. So he's obviously got some damage. and he's going to come up through the field after after that's fixed. So we're under yellow still, and my guess is that the safety car, when we see the lights go out on it, that will be our indication that we're coming back to green.
Yeah, presumably. Hopefully it'll be this time round.
You would think. It depends in the mod how many, what is set as the minimum yellow laps, and also what the random factor is in that. And I haven't seen that myself, so I'm not sure what it is. So coming down to the first hairpin now. Here they come through. Nice looking cars. At least at a low speed, we get to appreciate the paint jobs a little bit more.
Indeed.
But my big concern, Jonathan, is that if we're going to do this again, it's just going to be a real nutty situation.
Possibly. Very much depends on what kind of mental situation everyone is in when we get going, and hopefully they will be a bit more spread out, so there isn't as much trouble to be had. Ian Chapman is finally out of the pits again. I really feel for Mick. He was towards the rear of the field and got the worst of that situation, I think.
All right, so as we're coming towards the, we got a little ways to go yet, but I want to see if the pace car's lights are going to go out. Well, while we're waiting for that, may as well take people through what's coming up soon at HSO in case you missed it. For the 12 viewers that we have watching right now, the Mission Bell 200 is coming up next Sunday, and immediately following this race, I believe at 2230 hours, they will throw open the entry list, at which point people will go bat bleep crazy trying to get javelins. And then on Wednesday of this coming week is the second round of the 1996 BTCC Series at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. It's the Ford Credit Trophy meeting. And then the following Sunday, we're back Procar racing again. I doubt we're going to have a carnage-free race there either, but it won't be the high-speed variety. It'll be the fender-bender variety. Procar BMW M1 Series goes to Monaco. That will be on the 3rd. Okay, my goodness, what is going on here? Safety cars coming into the pits. That was rather unexpected.
Yep.
The green is out. Oh.
Yep, and everyone is away and going, and a bit surprising for everyone, I think, but everyone is going, so it was a bit of a stack up towards the back, it looks like. But
yeah, a bit of a bottleneck, but at least we're back running again. Looking from Jakob Fredriksson's car, here comes Steve Parker, and he's going to go around into the lead. I'm taking full advantage of the crane camera feature here in the AMS. See, I believe there are other people up here. Yep, that's Peter Hlavik. Oh my goodness, quite a gap back to the rest of the field because of that accordion effect that I believe happened. But here comes Jakob Fredriksson back like, oh my goodness, Peter Hlavik almost got pinched against the Armco. Here we come down
wide.
Oh my goodness. Here we come down to the hairpin again. Fredriksson, Parker. Oh my goodness. Yves Place spins around.
Oh.
Please, everyone, be careful this time. We don't want to have another incident. Timo Vermeersch off the track. But I believe, yeah, Yves Place rejoins. And so does so the rest of the cars. I mean, anybody who went off. Fredriksson is in the lead. It looks like he's pulled out a little bit of a gap now from second place. And here they come on the other side of the circuit. Fredriksson, Parker, Hlavik, then a group, David Jakes, Grant Riddall, and we got another good battle here forming. Oh, look at this. Yunt is coming up on Gerard Rion. This is the view from David Jakes' car. Yunt overtakes. That puts him into 6th place.
Well, further behind you, Avus is having a run on Ray Vidal as well for 8th and 9th.
Oh my goodness!
They're going side by side in this.
Yuha just about to just staying ahead of Ray Vidal. Dave Miller behind them. Now they're heading into the final turn here. Several other people here getting out of shape. The back battle going on between Vidra, Abanyas, Whited. All kinds of action going on everywhere. Oh, here comes David Jakes. He's going to overtake Grant Riddall. They're side by side. This is a battle for 5th place. But of course, Grant now has the benefit of the slipstream.
When up front, Steve Parker now being passed by Fredriksson and Lavac working together.
You're right. Well, Grant just went by David Jakes. Yes. This is, here comes Steve Parker looking for a way to get by. 3 wide. 3 wide between Fredriksson and Parker. My goodness, they split going into the hairpin.
That was Lavac backing out.
Oh my goodness.
No part of that.
Yeah, he doesn't want any of that. Looks like Hlavik has been hit from behind by somebody. You mentioned bump drafting before. Apparently that is going on. People coming into the hairpin now. Whited trying to get an advantage here. Just manages to squeak ahead of somebody. We got Kowalski. Vermeer still bringing up the rear of this section.
That was Ibanez, I think, Whited and Vidra took advantage of.
Oh my goodness. More side-by-side action. Fredriksson and Steve Parker is now back into the lead. Fredriksson back to 2nd. Peter Hlavik is in 3rd.
Looks like John Cook may have had a bit of an issue.
Oh boy. Hlavik.
Not sure what happened then.
Hlavik doing a bump draft here on Steve Parker.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. No, he's not going to try overtaking here, is he? Maybe. Hlavik has got a huge head of steam coming up here. He's able to... Oh, goodness. Guys, be careful. Oh, my goodness. So for the moment, it looks like Steve Parker has secured 1st place.
Well, until the end of the next straight.
Yeah, until the end of the next straight, exactly.
There comes Fredriksson already.
Yep, Fredriksson's already got a head of steam. Here he comes. Off to the right. And right by. Steve Parker tucks in behind. And meanwhile, there's a battle going on behind these two. David Jakes overtaking Peter Hlavik for 3rd place. And Grant Riddall's not far behind this group. And he's got a head of steam. Looks like he's going to overtake Hlavik. There he goes, pulling out. My goodness. Oh, you can see the Hans Stuttgart helmet there with the stars. Here they come, down to the hairpin once again. Fredriksson back in front. Parker 2nd. Jakes is 3rd. Hlavik 4th. And Grant Riddall is in 5th. This is exciting stuff.
It is indeed. Well, wow, what a move from Placen, 16th.
Well, here he comes down to the hairpin.
The right-hand kink, he went around outside of Vidra.
Oh my goodness! Vidra has a bit of a moment in the lower hairpin, but he seems to be doing okay. Yeah, you were right. John Cook does seem to have had some kind of an incident.
He was 3 wide with, I believe that was Placé and
oh my goodness. 3 wide.
Someone else, and they made contact.
We've got a 3 wide situation brewing here. David Jakes, who is now in the lead, has overtaken Steve Parker. Here comes Parker back. It is now 2 wide. My goodness.
All of them trying to behave into this right-hander here.
Trying.
Well, Parker really sideways. Nicely held.
So Jakes all the way up to 2nd place now. That's really impressive. And he's got Fredriksson right with him. So, oh, and he's got a full head of steam now coming off the corner. Looks like he's going to take 1st place. Actually, Yeah, it looks like he and Parker are pretty much dead even right now, but here comes Fredrickson. Fredrickson's looking for a way by. There's a small corridor there. No, he's going to go to the outside. There he is in number 66, and Fredrickson is back in the lead. 1988 kart champion. Fredrickson back into the lead. Where's Parker at? There he is. Oh goodness, and here comes Jake's back by again. Fredrickson gonna have to go back to second place, but Parker is using the slipstream off of Jake's car, and there's another battle going on behind these two. My goodness. We knew this was gonna be nutty, and it sure is. Jake's leads now. Fredrickson, look at that beautiful pass on Parker in the hairpin. Fantastic. So Jake's in the lead again. Fredrickson's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Parker at this point. But here he comes again. He's got, oh my goodness, he's got a big head of steam coming up the inside now.
It's a five-way battle now because Ridal has joined this line of cars as well.
Yes,
he's just
true.
gotten by Lavach.
Oh, 2 wide. It's about to be 3 wide. No, not quite. Steve Parker. Oh my goodness, cutting it very, very close as they go into the... oh my goodness. Look out, guys. Lavach is now actually getting really close. So it's going to be a 5-car train as they start this next lap. We have completed 6 laps. We're working lap 7 right now.
7 laps completed now.
7 laps completed now, thank you. Now we're on lap 8. I hope everybody at home is enjoying this because it's not often that you see just wide open action like this. Oh, here comes Fredrickson back by Jakes again. Oh my goodness, look at this. Well, Jakes is gonna get a full head of steam here coming by again. There's also a battle going on here between Parker and Grant Ridal.
There's also side by side going down the straight here for 10th and 9th.
My goodness. Oh, Fredrickson alongside Jakes manages to get on the inside, and he's going to have the lead as they exit the hairpin.
3 wide off the hairpin.
Yeah.
No less.
Bunch of guys scrambling as they're coming in here. Mikola, Briand, Gardner. People being pretty sensible, actually. I think that first incident caused a few people to keep their tempers down. Vermeer's going for a pass on Vidra there. Oh my goodness, here we go. Jakes with a 3-car freight train goes to the lead, but look at this, 3 wide. Jakes looking for room to race. Parker looks like he's going to take the lead now. Parker goes to the front. Jakes pulling out to go on the inside. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he backs out.
Yeah, they backed out of it. There's the shutdown. They're not going to. They almost went 3 wide into that cutback. Parker's loose as all get out. My goodness. Parker saves it. That was masterful. In anybody else's hands, I wager the car would have been sideways. That was fantastic. Unbelievable.
That's probably one of the best saves I've seen.
That was one of the best saves I've seen in a long time, and it's proof positive of how good Parker is in tin tops. He's really, really good at this stuff, especially with the ones that are heavy, and we'll be seeing that next Sunday for sure. What else is going on here? We got, well, I got to get a different view of the camera here. Parker in the lead. Fredrickson is in second. But I do not believe these guys are alone. No, they are not. Here comes Grant Ridal. 3 wide! 3 wide! 4 wide! My goodness!
Heavens!
Insane! David Jakes. Grant Ridal. First and second. Grant's going to go for the lead. Side by side.
Fredrickson as well with a fantastic ride.
Oh my goodness! Parker goes back to 4th.
Oh, Diamond formation going towards this one.
We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Grant goes to lead. Fredriksson's on the inside. Maybe he can get ahead of him. Let's see. No. You can see when these cars are... You can...
Yeah,
you
make of that one, but David Yates had the lead going into the... towards the hairpin, about 100 meters left. He came out fourth.
This is insane. Grant Riddall back to second now. Here comes Parker. Parker's got a big head of steam going for the inside. Look out. Parker goes for the overlap of two cars into the lead. Beautiful. Beautiful racing. And here comes Jakes. And oh, Fredriksson's going back for the lead again. My goodness. Oh man, it's amazing to me that they don't hit that wall as they go into there. So
Speed. And another amazing thing is Mikola, who was 20, pretty much must have been 21st, 22nd with 24 cars left. He's now in 8th and worked 7th. Dave Miller.
Here comes Jakes again.
Actually, Mikola just got passed by Juha Boss.
Wow.
Wow. As you say, here comes everyone. Grant actually maybe a bit too... No, never mind, he has to run now.
He has the run. Fredriksson's going to have to watch out. And everybody, I haven't seen anybody do any stupid blocking moves either, and that shows the real maturity of drivers here. My goodness! Okay, Parker now. Hey. Here comes Grant Riddall.
Grant.
Oh, no. Jake's... Grant let off a bit there, and here comes... No, Grant Riddall, 3 wide, almost.
Another diamond formation going down here.
Is Steve going to go for the win here? Or I'm sorry, for the lead? He comes down, late brakes. No, he doesn't have enough room. He's going to settle for second.
No, he does. He'll get the inside.
Oh, he gets that's what you would call the cutback, right?
Well, partly he should have been on the outside and then cut back, but that's as close as you can get to cut back on the inside line.
Well, he's now in second again, and he's being stalked by Fredriksson. And
that's Riddall behind Parker and then Fredriksson.
And even with that yellow, believe it or not, we've only seen half of this contest. We got another 10 laps after this.
Oh, and here comes Fredriksson with a massive...
Oh my goodness, look at that 3 wide! Fredriksson on the inside. Oh, and there goes Grant! Again, here we go again, 3 wide!
4 wide.
4 wide!
Surely.
4 wide!
No, actually Parker stayed away.
Oh my God!
He's not quite in there yet.
This is nuts!
Parker stayed back in once.
Wow!
This. Holy God. Oh, and Jakes around outside snatches the lead again. When Parker up the inside of Grant going into the final turn here, but Grant around outside. Actually, no, he's on the marbles. Here comes Steve up the inside. No, actually, Grant was able to hold it around outside. Wow.
Man. All right, here we go again.
I'm talking about the way this race goes. Mikola, who was in 8th as the lap started, is now in 11th.
There goes Fredriksson. Fredriksson is back into the lead, and actually there's a bit of a gap now between Jakes and Grant Riddall and Parker. Parker is now overtaking Grant. Grant looks like he's going to try again here. Overtake. We're looking at a telephoto shot here from far, far away.
Well, they are better off working together, which it looks like they will be trying now.
Yeah,
Parker and Riddall, that is.
It doesn't matter what racing it is. If you have a situation, okay, Jakes looks like he's going to try the outside. He does not. Fredriksson runs wide. Jakes says, "Thank you very much. I'll take the lead." Fredriksson doesn't have too much damage from that, though.
Slightly dirty tires, so you'll have to be a little bit careful into the next turn.
He's going to have to clean this off.
Ooh, and a bit further behind, Riddall Senior almost ran into the back of Gardner going into the low hairpin, but was able to avoid that.
Here comes Grant Riddall. He's going to go for third place on Steve Parker and sweeps by. So Grant Riddall up to third place. And Fredrickson is about to overtake David Jakes. Now, these guys are playing right into the hands of, well, anytime you run side by side like that, you're letting the guys ahead get away. But this is opening up a gap between the battle for first and second and the battle for third and fourth. So we got two groups now running. It's not the 5-car freight train that was before. Oh no, Steve Parker hits the wall. So the question will be...
Looks like his tire is held up, but as you say, what damage he has besides that is...
Well, the question would be, aerodynamically, what's that going to do to the car down the straight? Because a small ding here and there, that could be a problem. Fastest lap now. Oh my goodness.
Ray Riddall.
Ray Riddall's been disqualified. What happened?
I'll try to have a look, see if I can find out what that's all about.
Yeah, that's odd. In any case, well, Jacob.
Okay.
Wow, the action is for
what?
second place now. Here comes Steve. Wow. He's about to overtake Grant Riddall for second. He goes by. Here comes David Jakes, too. He's going to try to join the fun. Almost 3 wide. But Fredrickson has actually pulled out a huge lead now. And it's only going to get larger with these guys dicing back here. It's going to take it. So actually, I mean, this could be exactly what Fredrickson needs to establish some kind of a stranglehold on the lead as they come into the hairpin here. Parker trying to get an advantage here on Grant. Can't quite get it done. At best, they're going to be running side by side, but again, that's not a good thing because it's going to allow Jakes and Fredrickson to streak away.
What happened to Ray was that him and Mikla was side by side where they turned off the motorway, and they somehow managed to come together, and both of them headed for the inside barriers, so to speak. Riddall hit the barriers first, then came Mikla, and Riddall's car mounted Mikula's car and went over the barriers.
Grant Riddall is being overtaken now by Steve Parker for second place. And Jakes is right with them too. So these guys are dicing for second place. Meanwhile, well, Fredrickson is actually not checking out as much as I would have thought. David Jakes thinks discretion's better part of valor and shuts off to get behind Grant. Although Steve is getting much closer. Oh goodness, Grant gets really sideways, and that will probably cost him the... No, actually it doesn't. David Jakes is hanging right with him, but does not overtake him. So now the top 3 are pretty spread out, or at least the top 2, and David Jakes now is going to have another attempt at overtaking Grant Riddall. Here he goes.
Behind David Junt and the BS Scuderia is going for the top 5 position on Lavac. That's a change for the top 5.
Oh, there it is, yes. David Junt goes by Peter Hlavik.
Maurice Gardner heading for the pits. A little bit of damage to his front end. I suppose he has a puncture or something of that nature going on.
Looks like David Junt's going to try again. No, he ran out of room, unfortunately.
That's very unfortunate for Reese. Gardner missed a hairpin down at the end of the straight, and Rio followed him out there and hit him in the left front, causing a presumed puncture.
All right, David Jakes looking to overtake.
Oh, and Gardner is out as well.
David Jakes overtaking Grant for second place again, and I believe Parker is right behind this group. Yes, he is.
He's actually now currently in third, but here goes Grant back to third. That's how big the slipstream is.
Well, he's taking advantage of the freight train in the front. Fredrickson now, they're going to go
well, he's
right
a sitting
by
duck.
They're using the, yeah, he's a sitting duck because of the slipstream. My goodness, so that didn't last long.
Oh,
guys,
please,
be
guys.
careful. Oh.
How they survived that lap after lap, I can't fathom.
At some point, your nerves have just got to be shot. Oh my goodness, Fredrickson just almost pinched Steve Parker there. So Grant
That felt
Riddall...
more like Parker sticking his nose where it shouldn't have been, but...
Yeah, more than likely.
On the fastest lap, 2:09.162. That's pretty much equal to what he did in qualifying. I believe it's 400ths off or something.
And there's Fredrickson going for second place. On the inside of Grant Riddall, Parker's going to sit back there and just watch, but of course this is playing right into David Jakes' hands as those two are running side by side. Although, oh, here comes Parker, look at this, almost three wide. But these guys back here, they realize that they can't be running side by side very long or they're going to lose touch with. Now they're in a three-car freight train, and look at them, they're closing hand over fist now. Oh my goodness, three wide. Steve Parker goes for the lead on the inside. He's out of shape. He's going to go into the woods. Oh, man. But also, Grant has an issue. David Jakes gets back into the lead. Fredrickson is right behind him. Fredrickson shifting up through the gears. Looks like he's going to make another attempt here. That's too bad for Steve because he was doing really good in spite of the damage that he had. So
Indeed.
Fredrickson back into the lead.
But also to give a few other guys a bit of screen time as well. Juha Bos and Dave Miller has been together for the whole race and still running.
There's Grant going for the lead.
In the two pole machines.
So there's David Jakes, Fredrickson in third. And now we've got a huge gap between the top three and fourth place, which is, I believe, Steve Parker. So it looks like, unless Steve can mount some kind of a huge challenge, it could come down to these three. We'll see.
Sort of depends how much they're running side by side.
Exactly. As they come now into the start-finish area. Fredrickson shadowing Grant Riddall, David Jakes, the Manfred Cassani Racing car. Oh, Fredrickson has really good purchase coming off the corner. I wonder if he's going to... Yeah, no, Fredrickson tucks right in behind. He knows that it's better to have the cars in a freight train than to run side by side. And here is the benefit. They're already starting to close, and David Jakes. Fredrickson goes for the outside and overtakes. And here comes Fredrickson right with him, and Fredrickson is going for the lead and has it for the moment. Jakes using the draft of Grant Riddall. Coming on the right-hand side. Jake's going to try to take the lead back. Fredrickson, Grant Riddall running side by side. At some point, we're going to get to the hairpin here. My goodness, Grant looking for another opportunity. But he and Fredrickson running side by side, entering the hairpin area now. Jakes runs wide into the grass. Okay, now you're going to start wondering if tire wear is becoming a factor.
Could be. Depends how hard they've been going in the corners. But what I will say is Steve is trying his darndest to try and catch up, but it'll be a very tough challenge. He was by far the latest breaker into that hairpin.
Oh boy, there goes Jakes by into the lead. Grant Riddall's going to try to overtake as well. Was there a slight bobble there? I think David actually lifted there in order to let them by. It's a strategic move on his part. Fredrickson going for the lead again. Oh man! And you can see how twitchy these cars are under braking. These three are putting on a magnificent show. So, this time by, there will be 15 laps completed. So 7 to go. Or actually, 6 to go. Bump draft from David Jakes there. He's trying to push him on ahead so that they'll eventually catch the leader. And it looks like it's working. This is like IROC racing. Bump draft was a huge part of that. Oh man, look at that! They just sweep by Fredrickson. Grant Riddall into the lead, and now, oh my goodness. I was wondering if Jakes was going to try to take the lead after he had helped Grant get there. Coming into the hairpin once again, Grant leads, Jakes in second, Fredrickson third, fourth place, and braking heavily is Steve Parker. David Yunt is fifth, Peter Hlavik in sixth, and these guys look pretty solidified. Then there's a long, long gap back to the next group of cars. Who do we have coming in here?
Dave Miller and Avus still side by side.
It's the Pooh cars.
Well, next one is Mikkola and Rio side by side.
Oh, dear me, no! Oh. What happened?
Rio is upside down. Mikkola is out in the grass somewhere as well. And yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Rio unfortunately will be retiring here.
Well, let's have a look at. Oh, you're right.
Rio hit the train tracks leading into Berlin.
All right, here's the replay of what happened here. Gerard Rion, oh my goodness! Well, we're gonna have to run that back, and it's gonna have to be from his point of view. So it was entering the contact with Mikkola, I believe, and that sent him into the woods.
Finally rejoined in 18th.
My goodness. So at what point does he get flipped over? I don't understand.
He got flipped over very early on in that crash on my screen.
All right. Well, yeah, now he's actually back going again.
Yep. 18th and way behind where he was, but he's still running.
Oh my goodness. Okay, back to the lead. Grant Riddall leads right now, but here comes David Jakes and Fredrickson both trying to overtake for the lead. Jakes back in front. Coming up towards the start-finish area. My goodness, look at how early. Oh no, actually, we're going down to the first chicane. Hairpin. My apologies. Fredrickson back to the lead. Jakes goes back to second.
Fredrickson was really late on the brakes there, and Grant backed out. So.
Oh my goodness! You can hear the late shifting there.
Yeah. A bit further behind, Uspa is actually literally pushing Jason White down the straight to try and catch the next car in the form of Adam Hackman.
Okay, here comes Grant now, looking for the lead. Oh, here comes Fredrickson, 3 wide. Fredrickson sweeps between the two of them, going back to the lead. Oh, Grant also has a head of steam here, but he runs out of real estate. He's not going to chance it there.
And Jakes was very, very cautious there and backed off very early.
This is lap 17 we are working, starting lap 18. So we have 18, 19, 20, and 21 to go. 4 laps to go.
Parker is actually now also being caught by Yunt, so Parker definitely has some more damage than...
Yes, he is. That gap is coming down, you're right.
Still the Procar is running nose to tail here. Great to see that they are able to keep fighting.
Oh my goodness, David Jakes has a full head of steam coming by both Grant and Fredrickson. Grant Riddall looks like he's going to go for the lead. Inches up on the inside, but here comes Fredrickson. There's a lot of gamesmanship going on here, I think, between these three. Even if they can take the lead, it's similar to NASCAR in a way. Even if you can take the lead, you want to wait for that. Somebody's looking to be the Cale Yarborough of this group, who's going to pull out on the backstretch at the last possible moment and get the win.
Yeah, the problem is, remember what usually happens in those kind of situations. Usually quite scary stuff.
Yes, usually.
But with that said, hopefully these guys will be able to keep it clean and finish will be awesome.
That's what we would like to see. Grant now coming by on the outside.
There comes Fredriksson. He'll make it 3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide. Back he goes again. It's amazing how we've become blasé about 3 wide now. It's like, 3 wide. Again. Grant actually looks like he's trying to... No, he's smart enough to not do that. He's coming in there. They're doing a beautiful job of they're being on the absolute limit going into that turn and not hitting the barriers. The only one we've seen so far, of course, we haven't watched the whole field. Steve Parker just got sideways there and was able to keep it together.
And it sort of looks like they're leaving just that little bit of extra room towards the outside in case they have a moment in that right-hander as well.
So 3 to go now.
Here comes Riddall.
There goes Riddall. Around Fredriksson. We're watching from the view of David Jenks, who is got the he's got all the coal in the fire right now. Here comes Fredriksson back again. Oh my goodness!
Jenks with a massive run now.
Jenks with the double draft from the 2 cars. And you can see
Grant actually backing off there.
Yeah, you can see the orange cones ahead now as they come into the hairpin turn here.
A bit of a lock-up from Fredriksson.
I mean, Jonathan, where would you... And here we have, back to what you were talking about, Yunt is getting really close to Parker now.
Ooh, and Parker really sideways trying to get off the hairpin and actually slow here. Here
and he's going to lose... Is he going to lose the spot? Maybe.
Yep, Yunt up to 4th.
Yeah, Yunt is up to 4th now. So he just had a little bit of a bobble coming out of that turn. That was all it took. He got in the power a little bit earlier, and that's all it takes. But I don't think Parker's going to slip behind David here, and we'll see if David's trying to shake the draft.
Actually, best... No, sorry, never mind.
Okay, Steve's
Looking
got
at the replay.
Steve's going to go by now. It's funny, you know, I'm going to have to redo the intro vid for this race because there's so much action here. I should do another one.
Yep, ooh, 2 wide heading off the motorway here between Yunt and Park. Yep.
Onto the grass.
Oh,
Oh, there's contact! Contact! Oh, into the wall! No, no, no!
Now another bit of side-by-side contact. Parker doing the cutback.
Parker gets...
That definitely... First one definitely looked like a bit of a, like it was more Yunt than Parker causing that.
All right, let's look at a replay of what happened here. So they come into the corner here. Yunt, actually the first contact was Parker's, but then they ran into the barrier. Parker comes back on the outside, more contact.
But to me it looked like Parker wasn't left quite enough room, and that's...
No, well, these are 2 racers who clearly want to be in well, they're in the top 5 now, but
they want to be the top dog of the 2.
Yes, of the 2. And here comes Parker back by again.
Yep, and up front it looks like David Yates will retake the lead from Fredriksson. Fredriksson has a lead for a short moment.
Yunt is coming back by again. Oh my goodness! He just got pinched right against the grass. That was dangerous. And now Yunt
They need to calm it down.
Yeah, they need to calm down a bit if they want to make it to the end of the race. Yunt goes back to the inside. I don't want to leave this battle, but we really should be looking at the leaders. They're running side by side now. But clearly, there's lots of red mist going on in these 2 cockpits.
Jakes almost hit the rear of Grant.
Well, we're looking now from Grant's camera position at the top three. When they come by this time, they will be getting 1 lap to go signal from the flag stand.
Ooh, too wide going
too
into
wide.
that.
Oh my goodness, Jake's all over the place. So, as they say in NASCAR, it is show and tell time. Coming around, off the corner now. We'll see what's going to happen. Everybody.
Even Jakes with a fantastic line.
He does, yes. We are now
Question of who.
We are now in the final lap of what's probably been the most exciting, if not the most exciting, one of the most that we've had at HSO ever.
Indeed, and now I'm thinking it'll be a bit like when you watch skis, cross-country skiing. They are 3 at the front and no one wants to be first down the hill.
Yeah, it's true. So, Jakes goes back to the lead. Fredrickson second, Grant Riddall third. Everything is going to be determined by what happens on the next straightaway. Here comes Fredrickson back again. Grant is going to stay in third. That's probably wise. He's going to try to make his move in the next straight. Coming down into the hairpin for the final time.
One actually a bit of pushing now.
Yeah, a little bit. Fredrickson retains the lead. Grant
staying nicely behind. He wants to have a bit of a run down here as he can.
Grant is trying to build up a head of steam. He's actually trying to, he wants to get a whole shot in the two of these guys.
Yeah, and he's actually waiting. I noticed he is lifting up.
Here he goes. Here he goes. He's like, now it's time to go. Grant.
He actually backs off a little bit again. Now they're halfway down. Here he comes. No, he actually backs off again.
Fredrickson. Here comes David Jakes down to the inside. Takes the lead. Grant's coming now. Grant slips out from behind Fredrickson. Now, looks like he's going to take the lead from David Jakes. They're getting very close to the end here. Grant may have played this perfectly.
Well, here comes Fredrickson up
here
the inside as well.
Up the inside. Is he going to run out of room? Grant, they touch. Oh my goodness! Fredrickson now. Fredrickson and Grant are hitting the wall. Jakes goes in front.
On Jakes.
Grant and Fredrickson trying to salvage what has been a disastrous final corner, but it's all over. It appears Grant trying to get purchased. Fredrickson, they both bounce off the wall. David Jakes is going to win. Unbelievable.
And to be fair, you can't fault Fredrickson for trying, but I can understand Grant's disgust. As it looks like Junt will be the top dog of Junt and Parker for 4th and 5th.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
What a fantastic contest. Let's take a look
Indeed.
Let's take a look at a replay of the pivotal moment that caused the result you saw. Grant had this race won. He had it won, but here was the pivotal moment right here. He was in the lead, running in. Here comes Fredrickson right there, tries to skate on the inside. They touch, they go to the outside barrier, and Jakes just sails right by. Amazing result. These are 3 people who just absolutely wanted that win. Driving 11 tenths on the final corner. And unfortunately for Grant and Fredrickson, they just ran out of room at the end, and Jakes took advantage. Fantastic, fantastic race. One of the best I have seen ever at HSO. And I hope everybody at home enjoyed it. That was fantastic. Fredrickson second, Grant Riddall third, as we said. Junt finishes 4th, Parker 5th. Peter Hlavikson 6th, Dave Miller 7th, Juho Boss 8th, 9th was Adam Hackman, 10th Yves Placé, 11th Jason Whited. The points are paid down to 10th, incidentally. 12th Pascal Mikkola, after all the drama that he dealt with in the race. 13th Timo Vermeer, 14th Cesarius Lipinski, 15th for Alberto Ibanez. 16th for Lucas Vidra, 17th for Gerard Rion after his ride on the roof going into the woods, 18th Mick Chapman, 19th Raul Ureb, 20th John Cook, 21st Bruno Chacon, 22nd Reese Gardner, 23rd Jan Kowalski, 24th Francois Remen, and we are out of time because it is going to the next session. So that was nuts. Unbelievable. And I'm imagining that we're going to have people coming into the what do you call it? The
Green room?
The green room. Yes, thank you. I'm so out of breath at this point. There are other people who are going to have to be paying really close attention to the forum, because the Procar, or actually the see, I'm all crossed up now. The Open the race is going to
The thread will open in 9 minutes.
The thread will open in a minute. Thank you. God, what's wrong with me? I'm spent. All right, so let's have a look in the green room. Oh, Pascal Mikola wants to talk to us. Okay, and here comes Pascal.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello.
Hey, Pascal.
Good evening.
So, pretty eventful race. We saw the incident that occurred between you and Gerard, but before you mention that, take us back to the start of the race. What was going on there?
The very start, I had arguably the best start of the bunch, I would say. At least the first 4 or something, I was in the lead. And then I had to back off because my car started smoking.
Oh, no.
My oil temperature was getting too high.
Now, did you get
I didn't want to get called. I didn't want to get called into the pit, so I backed off a little.
So you were afraid that you were going to get black flagged by the race organizers.
Basically.
Okay, I see what you're getting at.
User joined your channel.
As we're now joined by Timo Vermeersch as well. Timo, how was this race for you?
Much better than Donington. I had slightly less boost yesterday evening, so was slightly fresher.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. I had luck to see all the trouble in Stadtschleife on turn 1, so I avoided it. I had a pretty good restart when the yellow went away. I got slightly thumped approaching the first hairpin after the yellow. No damage, but it put the car completely sideways, and after that it felt like riding on a horse. The tires were completely flat spotted.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the Trustmaster's ruined now, but besides that, I made it to the finish.
I don't want to complain or anything, Timo, but I wouldn't call your start after the yellow good.
All right.
I was right behind you.
Okay, all right. This is neither the time nor the place to be getting critical of people, especially when they're in the booth with you. But Pascal, back to your race real quickly. The incident that you had with Gerard Rion, where he went for a ride into the woods, it looks like it was just a miscommunication coming into the hairpin.
Honestly, I don't know about that. It was basically, I had a shunt earlier with Ray. It was pretty heavy actually. He had to retire after that, or was disqualified or something. Basically, he must have clipped through the Armco. Approaching the right kink before the north turn. That completely upset my car. I could not go fast anymore. If I was lucky, I could hit 175 miles an hour.
Wow.
If I was lucky.
Moved to your channel.
That is not a lot. So Gerard was, well, he was in my slipstream, and he was of course much faster than me, and he overtook me. But we were side by side going into the braking zone for the south turn, for the hairpin, and then I don't know, we just touched, and all I saw was his car's underbody, and I was also just flying off like nobody's business.
Well, we're joined by the race winner, David Jakes, trading in his snowplow for a BMW M1. Fantastic result. You should be sending a fruit basket to the Fredrickson residence, I would think. But tell us how that last lap encounter looked from your point of view.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'd love to see it again, because it looked like they just closed on each other going for that last corner, and I certainly didn't want to be, diving it in. I saw what was happening, so I kind of backed out. I did the best I could to get in position, along that straightaway to be first going in there, but obviously it didn't work out because I was third. But that turned out to be the right spot in this case.
Well, I mean, we were watching very closely, and Grant was playing that last lap beautifully. He was the fox. He was back there not going as quickly as he could, just patiently waiting, and then he got a really good head of steam coming up to overtake both of you. And Fredrickson, if he had had just another foot on the inside, maybe he could have squeaked through when you guys got to the second hairpin. But it was just not enough room, and they went against the barrier, and they basically handed you the win on a silver platter. But I'll tell you what, I would encourage you and your friends to go to look at the replay, because holy crap, it was insane fun to watch. Incredible 3 wide, 4 wide in some cases battles back and forth. Really, really exciting stuff. But you got to get out.
Moved to your channel.
You got to get out and do more snow plowing, I would think, tonight, because there's a storm coming our way.
Definitely got to get ready for that. But this was a nice little thing to do in between, and certainly got a little extra pep in my step now. Maybe I won't
I'll bet. A little bit of a
tired.
spring. As we're joined also by Dave Miller here. Dave, how was your race? We saw that you went for the lead on the start, but then unfortunately looks like you got your braking zone a bit wrong and went for a ride in the woods. Is that a fair assessment, or what happened from your point of view?
Yeah, it sounds about right. At start can only be described as quick. Good run down to the first corner, and yeah, just got on the brakes about 10 meters too late and make the corner. After that, managed to recover. I was held a bit by the safety car. Didn't lose too many places, and just went from there. This is the point where I also revealed I was only using 95% throttle down the straights because someone forgot to take the grill tape off the car from qualifying.
Uh-oh.
Someone's having a lesser pay.
Goodness.
I think
Yeah,
only
I
the
saw
team
that.
manager can be blamed for that, so yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna blame
I saw
team
that
manager.
I saw that I was behind Dave and Juha and almost got them both because, as Dave said, he wasn't really able to use full throttle. I screwed it up as well.
All right. Well,
that's how I landed all the way back there.
Well, for the benefit of our viewers and people on the forum, I'm showing Paris time now at exactly 10:28, which means we have 120 seconds until the thread is going to open. So I'm going to close out the broadcast now. Any final thoughts from anybody?
Thank you for broadcasting. I can't wait to watch it in a little bit here.
It will be a lot of fun to watch for sure. I want to thank Jonatan Acerclinth for providing me with a calmer voice in the booth as I was going out of my gourd most of the time.
Well, calmer.
Yes. Many oh-nos and screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm probably going to get a note from my apartment manager at some point. But that was the second round of the 1980 Procar Series for Jonatan Acerclinth. This is Jason White saying so long from Avus, your winner, David Jakes, in an incredible, thrilling finish. We'll see you next time.